What's going on, everybody? It's your brother New Breed coming through with another live stream. We got breaking news. Listen, Trump is about to pardon Ghislaine Maxwell as well as P-Diddy. And I'm going to give y'all the reasons why. Double tap your screen on your way in. Ladies and gentlemen, it gets bizarre. We are seeing some of the most scandalous chain of events unfold in the White House. Donald Trump looks petrified. He looks nervous. The fear is written all over his face. We're going to go into the sources. It is not looking too good at all for the White House. Now, first and foremost, y'all have to understand the story, right? I have to really give you the backstory of what's taking place in the media right now so y'all can understand how severe this is. This Epstein list has Trump absolutely shaking in his boots, and there's people getting taken out right now. There's blood sacrifices going on. There's a lot of deflection going on. There's a whole lot of evil and wickedness going on behind the scenes, as well as in the open, because Trump opened his mouth and he said too much. Now, before I put the cart before the horse, let me express to y'all what's going on. Let me give y'all the story, because you got to be very aware of what's taking place right now. Now, some of you are probably asking, who's Ghislaine Maxwell? Well, she's a woman who was facing a whole lot of years in prison, and it was her testimony that put Epstein away. But her testimony was based on a lot of information that was coming from a person by the name of, her name was, and I'm saying was, because she's no longer with us, but her name, well, pardon me, I'm sorry, y'all. Let me just get this together. Her name was Virginia Goffrey, and she was a formal spa worker at Trump's Mar-a-Lago spa back in 2000. This young lady was missing for a good amount of time. She was a slave at the Epstein Island. But check this out. She was just an adolescent little girl, 15 years old, while she was working at Donald Trump's Mar-a-Lago spa. Right? And here's the crazy part about all of this. Trump jumped out the window and said that Epstein stole her from the Mar-a-Lago spa. Stole her. Now follow me here, y'all. He said that she was stolen from the Mar-a-Lago spa at 15. Now, I don't know about y'all, but that sounds like she was some type of slave. What do you mean she was stolen? It sounds like she was some type of property. He did not use the word kidnapped. He said that she was stolen. His words, exactly. Now, I got so many questions. How long did Trump know she was missing? And he knew who did it, right? So not only was this young lady taken from his property, this 15, not even a young lady at the time, she was an adolescent, she was a young girl, and she was missing. And he claims that Epstein stole her. Now, here's where it gets real twisted, ladies and gentlemen, if it haven't got twisted already. This woman apparently died April 25th, 2025, at her home in Near Gaddy, a rural property near Perth, Western Australia. She died at age 41. Ladies and gentlemen, her death was ruled a suicide by Western Australian police, which stated there was no evidence of foul play. But come on now, ladies and gentlemen, they saying that she offed herself. They saying that she offed herself. Now, since that happened, Ghislaine Maxwell, who got most of her information to testify to put Epstein away, now that she has gone, now Trump is being asked, is he's going to pardon Ghislaine Maxwell? And he's open to it. Now, there's reasons why he will actually do it. And yes, Diddy is, listen, Diddy, he's connected to all this as well, right? Diddy is connected to it all as well. Y'all going to be shocked at what's going on in the media. But let me play this news brief right here of the family of the Epstein victim, the family of Virginia, right? Listen to what they have to say.
Virginia Giuffre's family wants to know what President Trump knows about convicted sex trafficker Jeffrey Epstein. In a new statement, the siblings of Giuffre saying, it makes us ask if he was aware of Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell's criminal actions. We and the public are asking for answers. Survivors deserve this. In 2019.
So their family is saying, was Trump aware? Well, now we can honestly answer that and say yes. Because Trump already admitted that this missing girl was stolen, his words, stolen off his Mar-a-Lago property. Stolen. So when we talk about trafficking and these rings that we've been talking about, that these damn predators have been conducting, we're not stretching the imaginations here. This stuff happens. And that's what's been happening. Now listen.
When Epstein was charged with trafficking, Trump said they had a falling out and had not spoken in 15 years.
Could they have had a falling out because she was snatched up? He stole one of Trump's slaves? What is going on here? Did we just elect a pimp? Wow. Tip, thank you for the contribution. I appreciate it. Says thank you for the hard work. Absolutely. Could they have fallen out because Epstein snatched this young lady up? She's been missing for practically, so let's say, let's do the math here. It's 2025. She was working there in 2000. She's been missing for practically 20 years, 15 years. This is insane.
The Giuffre family now speaking out after Trump was asked by reporters this week if Giuffre was one of the employees he claimed Epstein stole from his Mar-a-Lago resort.
He stole. Now look at Trump's face. Oh man, I hope y'all can see this, man. Oh man, we're gonna do another version of this stream as well, because y'all got to see this, bro. He's nervous.
I think she worked at the spa. I think so. I think that was one of the people. He stole her.
He stole her. Now, why was this 15-year-old girl working at Donald Trump's spa? And why is he talking like she's a piece of property? Trump is losing his mind at his age. That's what's happening right now. He's nervous because everything that's coming out, and he's speaking out of turn right now. He's admitting that this underage girl was working at the Mar-a-Lago estate that he has, and Epstein stole her. But he don't want those files to come out.
And by the way, she had no complaints about us, as you know.
She had no complaints about us, as you know. Well, we don't know what she has complaints about because she just popped up dead, unalived. She just popped up unalive months ago. And they always saying it was self-deletion. Yeah, he looks stressed out and afraid.
None whatsoever.
Giuffre's family saying it was Epstein's associate, Ghislaine Maxwell, who
Isn't this Trump's type right here? Didn't Trump say that he liked them young girls, blonde hair, blue eyes? This is the prototype. And she went missing working at Trump's Mar-a-Lago spa. She went missing.
targeted and preyed upon our then 16-year-old sister, Virginia, from Mar-a-Lago.
I was recruited at a very young age from Mar-a-Lago and
She was
trapped in a world that I didn't.
She was recruited at a very young age. This was August 2019, y'all. She said she was recruited into a world that she knew nothing about. Now you see why a couple months ago she got unalived. Now y'all see what's happening. I told you these Epstein files is going to leave a trail of bodies. She didn't say she got hired for a job to work with Trump. She said she got recruited. She got recruited into a world that she ain't know nothing about. Wow.
And entrapped in a world that I didn't understand.
Entrapped in a world that she didn't understand. Entrapped. This doesn't sound like some young lady that was just working for Donald Trump and working at the resort or whatever the case is. Wow.
And I've been fighting that very world to this day.
Giuffre, who died by suicide in April, accused Maxwell of recruiting her while she was working as a locker room attendant in 2000, claiming she was groomed to be a teen sex slave for Epstein.
Wow. How long did Trump know that she was snatched up from that estate? And why is Trump talking like she was property? When did that grooming process begin? Listen, I'm going to tell y'all what it looks like is happening. Such evil going on. Trump is going to do the right such a major disservice, and I'm talking about the right wing, that people are going to be begging to put another left wing liberal back in office. They're going to be begging. They're going to be begging because what he's doing right now is he's ruining the face of conservatism. That's what he's doing right now. He's being used to ruin conservatism.
Maxwell denied participating in sexual activities with Giuffre and Epstein and denied instructing Giuffre to have sex with others. Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche met with Maxwell last week, part of the Justice Department's effort to uncover information about anyone who has committed crimes against victims. Maxwell, currently serving 20 years in prison and appealing her conviction to the Supreme Court, offered to testify before Congress for immunity. Giuffre's family hopes that doesn't happen, saying Ghislaine Maxwell is a monster who deserves to rot in prison for the rest of her life. Trump has not ruled out pardoning Maxwell, but has said no one's approached him about it.
Yes, he did not rule out pardoning Maxwell, but guess what? I'm going to tell you just a few reasons why he will pardon her. Once he is addressed, somebody addresses him. As a matter of fact, he won't even do that. Matter of fact, Trump goes on to say he's the president. He can do that. Matter of fact, let's go to that. And then I'm going to give y'all some reasons why he will do it. Along with P-Diddy, because we're going to talk about Diddy too. Because y'all know Diddy and Donald Trump were thick as thieves. Y'all remember when Trump was asking, it was on some reality show, he was asking a lady, do you like Diddy? Isn't Diddy a good guy? And he was pretty much coercing her to say, yes, Diddy's a good guy. Y'all remember that. Now, I want y'all to check this out. Because Ghislaine Maxwell and Diddy will be pardoned very soon. And it's just a sick world we living in where these predators are getting off the hook. Now, this is Trump asked about pardoning Ghislaine Maxwell.
Speaking to reporters over at the White House just before leaving for his trip to Scotland. I want to go right to our senior White House reporter, Kevin Liptak. Kevin, you've been listening to what the president had to say. Update our viewers who may have just tuned in.
Yeah, and it was quite a lengthy session that we had with President Trump out on the South Lawn as he's heading now on his way to Scotland. And I think one of the most interesting things that he was asked and sort of answered was whether he was considering a pardon or commutation for Ghislaine Maxwell. Remember, she is the associate of Jeffrey Epstein, who is down in Tallahassee, Florida, yesterday and today, speaking with the Deputy Attorney General, Todd Blanche, who is potentially looking for more information about this Epstein case in a bid to kind of tamp down on the furor among some of the president's supporters who believe the administration has not been transparent enough. And the reason this question of a pardon or commutation has come up is because people are wondering what incentive Maxwell will have to kind of spill the beans, to talk to Blanche, to give him the information that he needs. You know, she's serving a 20-year prison sentence down there for sex trafficking, and she has appealed her case. She wants to get out of prison. Listen to what the president said when I asked him this.
Imagine being able to build anything just by thinking about it. Meet Base 44.
Would you consider a pardon or a commutation for Ghislaine Maxwell?
It's something I haven't thought about. It's really something. It's something I'm allowed to do it, but
I'm allowed to do it. I'm allowed to do it.
it's something I have not thought about.
Something he has definitely thought about. President is a liar. He has definitely thought about pardoning this woman. Why? Because he knew what she was doing the entire time. He knew what she was doing the entire time with Epstein.
Rule it out, sir.
And listen, I'm going to give you other reasons why. First of all, to protect his own secrets. See, Trump's name has surfaced in Epstein flight logs, Mar-a-Lago hiring practices, and in civil dispositions. Pardoning Maxwell or Diddy could serve as a strategic bribe. Why? Ensuring silence on incriminating details involving himself or any of his associates. What other reasons would Trump have to pardon this woman or Diddy, right? They know too much. Both Maxwell and Diddy have deep ties to what? The elite entertainment, political, and financial circles. See, all of their corporations could expose blackmail schemes, intelligence operations, elite sex trafficking networks. See, pardoning these people would be a preemptive, that would be a preemptive strategy. That's a preemptive strategy. But I know they call us conspiracy theorists. But here it is, we had that young lady missing. Virginia had her missing for what? 15 years. And Trump just came out of nowhere and said, yeah, they stole her from our Mar-a-Lago place. He knew about it the whole time, and he knows how connected his name is to all those documents. And right now, you have grand juries. You have grand juries that are trying to get those files declassified. But without the main witness being Ghislaine Maxwell, Trump can skate. It's all to cover his own name, right? It's also political distractions, bargaining chips going on. Trump always does a shocking decision to do what? Curve the media attention, shift the narratives. A pardon can be, a way to distract from all the legal cases that he got going against him. He also would be doing this to gain more political support from his billionaire constituents. telling you. I'm telling you. This is crazy. But let's go.
So you hear the president saying that he hasn't thought about it, but that it is within his power to do that. At another point in this, the president was asked, well, do you think Maxwell's words are really credible, given she clearly seems to be jockeying for some sort of leniency? And the president said that Todd Blanche, the person who is interviewing her down there, that he had.
Yeah, that's what she's looking for, some type of leniency. He can't act like they're outright talking to each other. She's asking for leniency because he's like, come on, have some mercy on me. You're the president. You was with us those days. I know that we snatched up one of yours, but I didn't have nothing to do with that. I was just following what Epstein was doing. You know, have some mercy on me. That's why he said I could pardon her. Hey, Trump, we go way back. You knew what we were doing. That's one of these kind of situations, y'all. I'm telling you, this Diddy guy and Maxwell, they both have connections to a lot of hedge fund managers too. Hollywood producers, globalists. Some of them have financial backing linked to Trump's ventures. A pardon will definitely appease the share backers because they got all these secret pro quo agreements that go on. Listen, these elite people, this is how they operate. This is how they operate.
Has an enormous amount of faith in him, that he is a great man, that he kind of knows what he's doing. Remember, Blanche is also President Trump's former criminal defense attorney. Now, on this Epstein matter, the president also clearly looking to deflect some of the questions, asking why people aren't asking more about, for instance, Bill Clinton's associations with Epstein, other Democrats who may have had associations with the late convicted sex offender. And so the president, clearly trying to deflect some of those questions as he now tries to also put some geographic distance between himself and this matter. He's on his way now to Scotland, putting the entire Atlantic Ocean between himself and Washington, where this fear has kind of...
Yeah, he's deflected. And I'm going to tell y'all like this. The real question is, how long did Trump know that young lady was snatched up from his Mar-a-Lago spa? And why was she working there at 15 years old? See, Trump see these individuals, Ghislaine, Maxwell, and P-Diddy, he sees them as just, some kind of victims of the deep state. But it ain't no deep state that's judging Donald Trump. Donald Trump used that to garner all the support from the real conspiracy theorists, right? Or let's say it this way. He used that deep state talking point to gather those from the intelligence truth community, like your Alex Joneses and a select few others who do deep dives. He used that talking point to garner their support to get elected. But really, he is the deep state. He is the deep state.
have built up, Wolf.
All right, Kevin Liptak at the White House for us. Kevin, we'll stay in touch with you. Thank you very, very much. There's more breaking news right now in Florida. It's day 2 of the Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche's interview, his conversations with longtime Jeffrey Epstein associate Ghislaine Maxwell. It's set to get underway at any minute now. And we're getting brand new video into the Situation Room, which shows...
Let's go.
Around for over 5 years now. If you looked up scapegoat in the dictionary, her face would be next to the definition.
And that's what they're going to listen. And that is the angle the lawyer is going to take. Ghislaine Maxwell, she's just an scapegoat. Listen, I'm going to tell y'all like this. Trump belonged behind bars right with her. Right with her. Can't nobody explain how this man jumped out of nowhere saying that this woman who has been missing for 15 years got stolen from him as a child, and we don't bat an eye at that. This child that worked at his Mar-a-Lago spa, this 15-year-old girl who worked at his spa, The United States president just told y'all that Epstein stole her from him. And then the timeline adds up because they fell out for 15 years. Wow. Wow, wow, wow.
Next to the dictionary definition of it. So, we're grateful for this opportunity to finally be able to say what really happened. And that's what we're going to do yesterday and today.
I know you didn't want to discuss the substance of the questions that the Deputy Attorney General was asking, but can you talk about her and how she's feeling about the meeting and what might be coming out of it?
Yeah, she's keeping her spirits up as much as she can. She's one of the strongest people I've ever met. She's been in terrible, awful conditions for 5 years.
Yeah, they're going to listen. They already pleading her case. They're making it seem like she's a victim. We're talking about a woman who was manipulating girls and women. Ghislaine Maxwell is a monster. But the media is doing all they can to make her seem like an innocent victim, that she was dealing with circumstance. And, she has it so hard in prison. And guess what? If the media can do a good job with that, Trump will definitely give her a pardon. Why? Because he has the sympathy of the women. Well, she's sitting there behind bars. Listen, this woman was helping traffic. It's nothing worse than a female who is manipulating and twisting the minds of these impressionable females, thinking that they're safe. No, she belongs in prison. She should have got more than 20 years. But Trump sounded like he has an open mind about pardoning this individual.
We wouldn't keep animals the way she's been kept in prison. So, it's unbelievable that she can keep her spirits up this high, and we're proud of her.
David Marcus answering reporters' questions as he's walking out of that courthouse in Tallahassee. The negotiations, the talks continue today between Ghislaine Maxwell and the Todd Blanche, the Deputy Attorney General, the number 2 official in the U.S. Justice Department.
You hear that? She's already, listen, Ghislaine Maxwell and her attorneys are already speaking to people that's in the White House, the Deputy Chief of Justice. This is listen, the pardon papers are on the way. The pardon papers are pretty much about to be at the White House doorstep. They already are desensitizing people to the idea of this known sex trafficker, Ghislaine Maxwell, being freed. They're already desensitizing people to accepting that. And one of the young ladies that she trafficked, just all of a sudden, allegedly self-deleted when the grand jury is trying to open a case to get the files declassified. Talk about a corrupted system.
The Todd Blanche, the Deputy Attorney General, the number 2 official in the U.S. Justice Department.
The number 2 official in the U.S. Justice Department. They're about to free Ghislaine Maxwell. And we're going to talk about it because Trump said he's considering pardoning Diddy too.
There's Ivan Rodriguez. There you see him. He's in Tallahassee covering all of this for us. Ivan, what are you seeing so far this morning?
Well, Wolf, we're now entering, as you said, that highly anticipated day 2 of meetings between Ghislaine Maxwell, her attorneys, and Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche. As we saw there earlier this morning, we saw Maxwell's attorney, David Marcus, enter the courthouse. Very interestingly, we heard him regard her as a scapegoat to those sex trafficking crimes, but he also ended by saying that Maxwell has no reason to lie and that she's going to keep telling the truth. Yesterday, both sides met for about 6 hours. It was a very long meeting.
No, she's going to continue. No, she's going to continue reading the script that they've given her.
We expect that meeting to probably last at least a couple of hours today as well, Wolf. But a big question here is, what is Maxwell actually saying? And maybe even a bigger question here is, what is Blanche asking? Yesterday, we did see a statement from Blanche on X saying that at the right time, he will talk about the information that he learned during these meetings. He has not spoken really at all about what's been going on. Yesterday morning, he walked in.
Trump is definitely going to give her a pardon to protect himself. See, they helped him in the past. More than likely, there's a lot of unknown personal favors that was done. Blackmail threats, political leverage. You know, pardon them could be a repayment for silence. Assisting, especially during Trump's campaign in 2016 and 2020. There's a lot of ties to this individual, Ghislaine Maxwell and Diddy. It's a lot of ties.
To the courthouse, and we saw him exit in a vehicle. We maybe expect him to exit in a similar fashion today without making many comments. Later today, we might expect to hear again from Maxwell's attorney, David Marcus. He's been a little bit more vocal every time he's entered and so far exited the courthouse.
All right, Ivan Rodriguez, we'll stay in close touch with you as well. I want to continue our conversation right now. CNN legal analyst and criminal defense attorney Joey Jackson is joining us right now. Joey, is it unusual for the Deputy Attorney General of the United States to be the one interviewing Ghislaine Maxwell at that courthouse in Tallahassee, Florida, very close to the prison where she's spending 20 years?
So, Wolf, good to be with you. The answer is yes, it is. But I think it goes to the sensitivity of the issue and the fact that they want to keep tight reins on it, they being the White House and the president.
Yep, the White House and the president, they already been briefed. Only thing Trump is waiting for is those pardon papers to be on his desk so he can free Ghislaine Maxwell.
I think you want someone who is a direct report because you want to control the information, you want to control the narrative, and you want to control the flow. And so if you really obviously want to get at the truth would be, and it would lie in the files, and you can be fully transparent by releasing them and they'll speak for themselves. But I think certainly she's a critical component, Wolf, with regard to gathering information that's important to who was around Jeffrey Epstein and what specifically they were doing.
Are you surprised, Joey, that this interview is now in its second day?
So I am. I mean, obviously, there's a lot of information to unpack. And, you know, a lot has been said about whether she's truthful or not truthful. And I think she's in an impossible situation. Well, why? If she says things that are damning to the president, she's going to be deemed to be a liar. If she says things that are, supportive of the president, she's going to be deemed to be a liar. But I think no matter how long the interview goes, it's important that everything she's.
What she's going to do is she's going to play the victim and say that she was under immense amount of pressure and that she was coerced by Epstein and that, Trump didn't have nothing to do with it. Trump's name is going to be not even really brought up in that interview. So we're going to end up having this woman get pardoned. There will be a primetime interview with Ghislaine Maxwell. Everything I'm telling y'all, listen, it's going to come to pass. And y'all going to look back at this live stream and say, wow, this guy was really ahead of the game. And it's all to cover. Trump is just trying to cover his tracks. He's on those call logs. Listen, once them files are declassified, some people are going to be getting in trouble.
As be corroborated, then that can be done. You're going to ask her who, what, when, where, and why, and how, etc. And I think that what you want to do, in addition to gleaning from her the specifics to your questions, is you want to vet it. We have the best intelligence sources in the world, and I think you can do that by looking at text messages, emails, surveillance, documentation, flight records, and other things that would go to show whether what she says would be credible.
Right. That's why Trump is scrambling the way he is, because the flight records and all of that don't lie. So there's going to be a massive level of manipulation being used with this predator right here, Ghislaine Maxwell. She's going to be used in great ways. And what I mean great ways, I mean horrible ways. But she's going to be used a great deal, right? Yeah, criminals definitely protect criminals, man.
What's the significance, Joey, of this interview, this meeting that's being done in the U.S. Attorney's office down there in Tallahassee, Florida, and not at the nearby prison where it could be recorded by the Bureau of Prisons?
Again, I think it's important that they want to, that is the White House, control the information. And to your question, well, what'll be important to me is not only the transcript with respect to what was said and how it was answered, meaning the questions posed and the answers, but what was it like off of that? Meaning, hey, we're here just to get at the truth, but realize and recognize that certainly the president has an interest here. And, what you say, may in fact influence whether or not a pardon might be available, but we just want the truth. I mean, I don't really mean to be in a position of being skeptical, but you have to be skeptical. And if it's really about the truth, Wolf, I think we would see files and we would see those files released to the American public. And the question has been posed, well, Biden was in charge, and why didn't he release the file? I think there's an easy answer to that. I think the answer is that there might be information that's damning to both sides.
Yes, and I've been saying this all along. People are always accusing me of being a Democrat. And every time they say, well, why didn't Biden, release the files? I say, because he was on them. We already know Weekend at Bernie's Joe Biden, who is always sniffling and groping women and girls and children and just walking behind people being extra creepy. We know he's on the files too. The whole government is a cesspool. All of it. We're not rocking with Democrats or Republicans. Matter of fact, I'm about to go right to Fox News right now. So a lot of y'all have been programmed to believe if somebody is watching one side of the news, they got to be of the other side. No, they program you through a Hegelian dialect to believe that you got to choose one or the other side. Listen, we are independent thinkers. We believe in truth. We use deductive reasoning skills. We believe in logic. We are biblical people. We are real conservatives. We not with either side. But anyway, I want to go to Fox News and show y'all that Trump is considered pardoning Diddy as well. And I'm going to tell you the reasons why he's going to do that, right? I'm going to give y'all the reasons. We talked about Ghislaine Maxwell. Let's talk about the diddler now. Trump considering pardons for Diddy. Live Fox News. This is breaking. This is brand new. Let's go.
Live and now from Fox, I am Andy Mack. Let's turn our attention right now to the Sean Diddy Combs case, as President Donald Trump in the White House potentially could be more than open to a potential pardon for that music mogul following his conviction, although the three big charges were not found not guilty in that case. I do want to put up a post from TMZ saying this, according to TMZ, with direct knowledge, telling TMZ Donald Trump is more than open to pardoning Diddy, but he wants to wait to see what the judge does in terms of the latest bail petition, as they will.
So, Diddy is a surefire, has his surefire way to freedom at this point. He's telling you straight up, if the judge don't give Diddy bail, I'm going to pardon him. This is what Trump is saying, right? If he don't get bail, I will pardon him. Now, some will say, well, why would Diddy get a presidential pardon from Trump? Well, listen, ladies and gentlemen, Diddy funded or influenced a lot of powerful black voting blocs. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Who was the main one who had control over a lot of voting blocks in the past? Diddy. And in the future, he still, believe it or not, even with his sullied history and reputation, he still will have that type of power, y'all. This is a politician here. See, despite public perception, Diddy has had a quiet influence over urban voters. He's responsible for a lot of the mobilization. Media platforms like Revolt. Trump may use that pardon to buy favor with black entertainment gatekeepers. He can use it to silence future political backlash. It can also fracture support for Democrats by doing what? Creating confusion. Listen, these politicians have a reason for doing what they're doing, man. Let me see. Yeah, somebody said Trump is in the dirty pool with them as well. That's a fact. Guess what? Another reason, because Diddy may be a federal informant, by the way, as well. He can be a good protest asset. See, there's a lot of speculation surrounding Diddy, surviving scandals from the 99 Club shooting in New York, the Biggie and Tupac investigations, the recent trafficking allegations. He may have cooperated with authorities. In exchange for leniency, Trump could pardon him if he sees him as an asset for intel, if he needs state operations. I mean, listen, the corruption is real. The corruption is real. And y'all got to double tap to get the likes up. Y'all got to double tap to get the likes up. And see, I question everything. This ain't a stretch of the imagination. These are some of the reasons why the elite look out for each other. Trump is probably trying to control the narrative in black media. All of the black media that Diddy was in charge of, Revolt TV, that'll knock off any anti-establishment, pro-black voices. Yeah, that's a strategic move. Trump may see a partner as a move to co-opt or neutralize platforms who are pro-black, bending the message to his own political agenda. It also contributes to the radicalization of real foundational black Americans. Why? Because Diddy is a sexual deviant, a sexual degenerate. Could y'all imagine Diddy getting a presidential pardon? Diddy would be all over the news for that. Diddy would come out the gate swinging. He'd be right back into a position of power. Why? Long as he agrees to support Dirty MAGA with all the influence he had. Because when Diddy get out, that's a lot of influence Diddy will have. Trump is very aware of this. He's very aware. See, Trump is not the conservative that people thought he was. Let's go.
Wait, and it depends if they're Diddy granted bail. Trump will make a decision and a pardon until Diddy is sentenced. If the judge denies bail, potentially a decision could be made immediately. Let's be joined right now by TMZ's Branson Corky. Branson, thank you so much for joining us here on Live Now from Fox. And this is interesting because previously President Trump said he wasn't really familiar with Diddy's case, although they were familiar with one another. They were friends. What more can you tell us about how open Trump is to a potential pardon?
Right. I mean, this is shocking and came totally left field today. Just like you said, we hadn't heard him even speak about this since that one moment where he said he wasn't totally up to date on the case. And once he reads the facts of the case, he can make a better decision. But now, as of today, we know the White House has been speaking with Diddy's defense team.
So the White House is already speaking with Diddy's defense team, y'all. He's already speaking with Diddy's defense team. So, hey, it looks like those papers are on the way. This is wild.
And allegedly, they, just like you said, if he is granted bail, then he will wait to make a decision. Trump will wait to make a decision until October 3rd when he is sentenced. But if he's not granted bail, then Trump will make a decision immediately. Now, the question is...
So that means, look, if Diddy don't get bail, you know, him and Donald Trump, they finna Harlem shake their way on out of there. But he ain't free Tory Lanez. And Tory Lanez has been proven to be innocent of shooting Meg Thee Stallion. Make that make sense. Why Diddy? Because Diddy is a sexual deviant. Yeah, and Trump is ready. Listen, with Epstein gone and the heat is on, you know, they're trying to figure out where they can get the young girls from now. They need Diddy back out in the streets because they're ready to have Diddy parties. They ready to have their freak off. The elites are ready to have their freak offs. They've been fiending for a Diddy party. Because Epstein and Diddy, they one of the same. They say what was the leader, Prince Harry? Prince Andrew, he was at the Diddy parties. The same people who was at Epstein was at the Diddy parties. Bunch of weirdos and freaks. Why else would Trump go ahead and pardon Diddy? Why? Because Trump has been tried in the court of hip hop culture for credibility. He's been deemed non-hip hop and racist for all these years, especially during the election season. Pardoning Diddy, one of the most iconic, polarizing black moguls, could be a strategic way to insert himself into cultural conversations, manipulate optics, distract from all the racial injustice criticism that Trump always gets.
What is that decision going to be? We know also that sources have given kind of a reason behind why Trump is considering even this at all, basically saying that Trump feels that possibly Diddy was targeted by the feds, and he feels, just like himself, Donald Trump feels that he was also targeted by the feds and was, just had a bad rap due to several different circumstances. But we won't know until that judge makes that decision on that proposed bail package, which we know right now has a laundry list of additives to it, including a $50 million bail as well, or a bail bond, as well as limiting his travel.
So basically, Trump is like, no, we're going to give him a pardon. You don't need to pay up. You don't need to limit your travel. Matter of fact, we're going to get you an island. Matter of fact, if Diddy want to get out and go get him an island, he can do it. Listen, Trump can pardon Diddy, and Diddy can go cop him an island. And also, Trump could be doing this to stop a chain reaction. Diddy goes down. People he connected to, from corporate execs to political donors, could be implicated. That's the domino effect. It can lead straight back to Trump's own business and social networks. A pardon may serve as some type of firewall, because I believe Diddy know a whole lot. I believe Diddy know a whole lot about what's going on with Epstein, as well as Donald Trump. See, this is the truth intelligence community over here. We gonna question all this, because why else is this man trying to let these weirdos and freaks out in the streets? Make it make sense.
Supervision and everything from his Miami home. So he's given them every possible little thing that he could give the federal government to get out on bail, but that decision could come in the next 24 hours or so.
Yeah, the judge initially, right after the verdict came down, saying they were denying bail, wouldn't let him out because violence is violence. And that's what really the defense was talking about during their closing arguments throughout the trial, that Diddy was violent. But Obviously, this not a domestic violence case. Do we expect to get to October 3rd? Is there any sort of timeline in your eyes? You mentioned maybe in the next couple of days. It changes almost daily. Are we aware of any timeline?
Well, based on just what we saw before, when he had denied him bail just hours after the verdict was read, saying that he admitted to being violent in his full-throated statement at the end of this trial.
But this wasn't a domestic violence case, so I don't even know why they're talking about that. But we need to talk about why there's a good possibility that Trump will pardon Diddy. We already know Trump already said he will pardon him. But the question is why? Why is he doing this? Because the entertainment PDF file ring is bigger than Epstein. That's why. Rumors, lawsuits, witnesses' accounts have long painted Diddy as being involved in trafficking rings. Not unlike Epstein, if those cases expand, it could expose a second black-led wing of the elite abuse in these networks. See, Trump might pardon Diddy to contain exposure and protect a wider ring that includes politicians, CEOs, and even world leaders. That's why. That's why. It's bigger than just Epstein. Why else would the feds go after Diddy, have all these cases, have all of these boxes that they carried out of Diddy's house? The feds who have a 98% conviction rate. How could they lose with all the evidence that they brung out of Diddy's house? Are you trying to tell me the only people that was on those tapes and in those boxes was just Cassie and some male prostitutes? No. That makes absolutely no sense. There is a cover-up. There is a cover-up. They didn't want to convict him. They wanted to punish him for jumping out of line. I'm telling you, the mask has been lifted.
And that's why he decided not to release him. I can definitely see the judge denying him bail once again. I feel that this bail package is very similar to one that he did before.
And what's up with Trump going ahead and overthrowing the judges? Let's go.
And it doesn't really change anything here. It's just another last-ditch effort by Diddy. This could be a couple days. I know Harvey Levin possibly believes that it could be 24 hours that they may make a decision on this bail package. But I really do think that the judge will deny him bail once again. And if he denies him, just based on the things that Trump has said and things in the past that we've seen, I could very well see Trump possibly pardoning Diddy.
Yeah, that'll be interesting to see. And of course, we talked about the sentencing that's coming up October 3rd. And some of these guilty verdicts coming down, they do have an upwards of 10 years. But we're also talking to legal experts that he could just get time served. So even if the pardon doesn't come, we might not see Diddy behind bars for too long.
So, look, you got the U.S. president saying that he wants to go ahead and pardon Diddy. But you got all these political prisoners, all these freedom fighters, all these individuals who are locked up just for being truth speakers. They still in jail. Mumia Abu-Jamal still in prison. But they want to free P. Diddy? And see, the corruption is just blaring at this point. It's blaring at this point. And I don't know about y'all, but I'm really concerned about Virginia Goffrey. Hopefully I'm pronouncing her name right. But I'm referring to the person who was employed at the Mar-a-Lago spa around 2000 and later became one of Jeffrey Epstein's most prominent accusers. Trump recently came out and said that Epstein stole the young lady, the female employee. At the time, she was just a little girl. She was 15 years old. Stole her from his Mar-a-Lago spa, claiming Epstein recruited them despite Trump's objections. So wouldn't that make Trump a witness? No, let's take it a step further. Wouldn't Trump be complicit in the crime if he never came to the authorities about this person, this young girl being stolen? Somebody said she definitely did. Yes, she allegedly committed suicide months ago. Wouldn't that make Trump complicit? Why would he use the term stole? Wouldn't the term be kidnapped? Wouldn't it be kidnapped? So now you have her family trying to figure out what the hell happened. And we got to go to that once again, because this is very alarming news right here. This shouldn't be leaving the news no time soon. And that this person, and we're going to talk about how she was blood sacrificed, because that's what it is. She was clearly blood sacrificed. There was clearly a ritual conducted. This is insane. All right, now it doesn't want to.
Giuffre's family wants to know what President Trump knows about convicted sex trafficker Jeffrey Epstein. In a new statement, the siblings of Giuffre saying, "It makes us ask if he was aware of Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell's criminal actions. We and the public are asking for answers. Survivors deserve this." In 2019, when Epstein was charged with trafficking, Trump said they had a falling out and had not spoken in 15 years. The Giuffre family now speaking out after Trump was asked by reporters this week if Giuffre was one of the employees he claimed Epstein stole from his Mar-a-Lago resort.
I think she worked at the spa.
I think she worked at the spa. She worked at that spa. How did he steal her? How did Epstein? Well, listen, if they stole her, why are you even considering? Why are you even considering giving Ghislaine Maxwell a pardon? If she was his accomplice, why would you even consider giving Ghislaine Maxwell a pardon if her, along with Epstein, stole, by your words, stole that girl from your Mar-a-Lago estate? Stole her like she was property. Yeah, how do you steal someone? She was kidnapped. Why didn't he use the word kidnap? Yeah, he's definitely deep into this whole ring that's going on.
I think so. I think that was one of the people. He stole her. And by the way, she had no complaints about it.
He stole her. She had no complaints about us. He stole her. Do y'all hear this? Does anybody see how sick this is? Let me know in the chat. Because I don't see how Dirty Maggie could defend this one. I mean, ladies and gentlemen, this is preposterous. This is our president. He didn't say he took her. He taken her. Now think about it. If he would have said he took her, that can at least allude to some some coercion. Maybe they planted a seed in her head and, they got her out of there. And, she was a great employee. She was an employee. And they planted some seeds in her mind. And they got her to leave us. That ain't what he said. He said they stole her. Like if somebody in your house and they steal a vase. Or they steal some jewelry. No, that means they seen her in the spot and say, we gonna snatch her up. Yeah, you're underage employee. Like, what the hell are we talking about right now?
And by the way, she had no complaints about us, as you know, none whatsoever.
Giuffre's family.
She's all about protecting himself. She had no complaints about us. How long did you know Epstein stole her? When did you find this out? So while she grew to be a woman, of course it was a girl, but when this girl was missing, you didn't go to the authorities while her family was searching for her? While people were trying to figure out where this young girl was at, you already knew that, oh man, they done stole from my house. They done stole my property. I know exactly where she at.
Saying it was Epstein's associate, Ghislaine Maxwell, who targeted and preyed upon our then 16-year-old sister, Virginia, from Mar-a-Lago.
And it was Ghislaine Maxwell who preyed and targeted her. And Trump is talking about, I could give her a pardon. He's talking about giving her a pardon, y'all. The family is saying, no, she was the main one. She was the main one. Bro, America is sick. Bro, America is disgusting, bro. And it's like it's showing now, like in the open. And anybody who chooses to ignore that is sick. It's sick. Somebody said, where's Dirty MAGA tonight? Oh, they've been in here. As soon as they seen I ignored them, they left. Because I was too busy covering this story. That's what they do. They'll come in there, they'll hurl a couple insults. If they see you ignoring them, they just leave. That's why I always try to leave the link to let them come in. Yeah, they don't like when they start. Listen, yeah, they those little maggots, they ate and then they left. This is how they are. Dirty MAGA is like, they like to remain anonymous. They just like to troll people. But as soon as they hear the truth starting to shift their conscience a little bit, they flee. Yeah, they get ashamed and they run. That's what happens. They come in for a little bit. Oh, we couldn't get him off his game. We couldn't hurl insults. Oh, let us just get up out of here. Y'all know how we do MAGA. You know how we do dirty MAGA.
I was recruited at a very young age from Mar-a-Lago.
She said she was recruited at a very young age from Mar-a-Lago.
And entrapped in a world that I didn't understand.
That she didn't understand.
And I've been fighting that very world to this day.
So Ghislaine Maxwell came to Mar-a-Lago and recruited her. And Trump said, oh, they stole her. Why? Because she was supposed to be one of Trump's. She's supposed to be one of Trump's.
Giuffre, who died by suicide in April, accused Maxwell of recruiting her while she was working as a locker room attendant in 2000, claiming she was
a locker room attendant. What the hell is a locker room attendant? What was she doing up in the locker rooms? Explain to me what this 15-year-old girl was doing in the locker rooms. Why was she attending locker rooms?
Be a teen sex slave for Epstein. Maxwell
She said she was being groomed to be a teen sex slave.
denied participating in sexual activities with Giuffre and Epstein and denied instructing Giuffre to have sex with others.
And this is the woman y'all want to free? This demon on your screen? This is who Trump is considering freeing, pardoning. Y'all want MAGA to hit the link? Let's share the link in the chat. Let's see if MAGA picks up. I doubt they will. But anyway, let's go.
Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche met with Maxwell last week, part of the Justice Department's effort to uncover information about anyone who has committed crimes against victims. Maxwell, currently serving 20 years in prison and appealing her conviction to the Supreme Court, offered to testify before Congress for immunity. Giuffre's family hopes that doesn't happen, saying Ghislaine Maxwell is a monster who deserves to rot in prison for the rest of her life. Trump has not ruled out pardoning Maxwell, but has said no one's approached him about it.
Right. See, he said he's not against pardoning Maxwell. And 3 makes a very good point, says they probably made it seem very glorious and beneficial for her if she accepted their offer, claiming she'd be around celebrities and get lots of favors for whatever she does. Yeah, that's how they do it a lot of the times. Cassie also was very young when she was recruited into doing the thing she did with Diddy. They always catch him with the allure of fame and fortune. And imagine Ghislaine selling her that idea. But really, you just up on an island being passed around. You just you at an island getting passed around and stuff. This is crazy. Yeah, she should rot in jail. She should have got more than 20 years, and Trump is talking about pardoning this woman. Why to cover his own ass? He's truly in bed with the devil. South Park got it right. South Park got it right. Yeah, they've been on that blink twice stuff for a long time now. And unfortunately, that young lady couldn't survive this year while all of these damn cases are beginning to open back up. You got grand juries trying to open up these classified files, and all of a sudden she dies. They call it a self-deletion months ago, back in April. No, she was taken out. She was blood sacrificed. Why? Because she became a leading advocate for all the survivors. She played a central role in bringing attention to the Epstein crimes. So they had to take her out. The family have expressed inflammation and shock over Trump's remarks, describing that she was stolen. The family says they're deeply disturbed. They have urged against any leniency towards Maxwell and warned about accountability for those tied to Epstein's network. Imagine being on TV. Imagine watching your child was missing. And then you watching TV, you watching the news one day, and you hear the US president say, "Oh, she was stolen." We talking about 20 years later after your daughter dies, and y'all don't know how she really died. You watching the news and you hear the US president sit up there and say, "Yo, she was stolen from my spa in Mar-a-Lago." She was stolen from my spa. Imagine being a family. Imagine what that family is feeling right now. That's some wicked stuff, man. This is low level. Trump used to call Epstein a terrific guy, all the way until he got caught. And then Trump described Epstein as a creep. Y'all remember? And now he's accusing him of stealing employees? No. It ain't like she was working for Burger King and then, you know, the nigga came from McDonald's and was like, "Shorty, I got a job for you." This was a real missing person. You can't say he stole her. She's not property. It ain't like he you know, got her to leave the job and then go to another job. Man, this is sick stuff, man. See, the episode has reignited, you know, because Trump historical ties to Epstein are being re-spoken of, you know, the handling of the Mar-a-Lago staff at the time. And now any potential knowledge of complicity should be evaluated. It should be evaluated. Just for the victim's sake. I mean, this is sad. This is sad stuff, man. You know, I definitely had to come in and bring the truth on this. Let's play the rest of this and we'll be out.
The Justice Department says only 2 law enforcement witnesses testified during the grand juries in New York that investigated Epstein and Maxwell. Supporters of releasing all the Epstein files say this proves more than just the grand jury transcripts need to be released to show transparency.
Right. Yeah, you know. Yep. 3 said it. The real blink twice is the Epstein Island. That movie is based on the Epstein Island. A bunch of elite folks doing God knows what to these young women. Oh, man. But nonetheless, man, I will give y'all real-time updates on this situation as they come. I want to thank each and every one of y'all for watching the broadcast. Make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe. Support me via newbreedglobaltruth.com, as well as Cash App, Newbreed Global Truth 77. Y'all be blessed out here. More material coming. If you're a new subscriber, make sure you turn your post notification bell on so you can get these streams as they're being uploaded. Y'all be blessed. Shalom. Peace.